Welcome to Radmore Farm. Today is a bit different. I come to you live from one of the sheep fields, and I'm going to do that today because it's a very special and different message I'm going to promote today. For one, it started raining, so I've got you under the canopy so it doesn't get the camera wet. But what's more is you might have seen on some of the socials that we have our first lambs of the season ready. Now, we've all heard of spring lambs, and everyone really enjoys this time of year if you're someone that eats lamb. But what makes ours so special, and why am I so pleased about it? Well, there's a lot of things, but it's mainly the historical sort of story I'm going to tell you today about how much planning and time has gone into these sheep. So if you can picture back to say 2021, we didn't have a single sheep on this farm. We had gone out of things like that. We used to have cattle and pigs over time, but we never really had any sheep. And we wanted to bring a product to market to our customers who shop with us, etc., that's different quality and unique. We wanted to make sure our lamb was high welfare, always grass fed, and to be done to the best of our ability. So we started by getting a handful of, I think it was 20 Clens. And Clens are a Welsh breed, not a high sort of mountain grazing type, it's a lowland sheep, but does really well on grass and needs less input. And we thought to ourselves, what better than a native breed to start us off? But what was even more exciting than this was we bought them in lamb. So we had the first session of lambing on the farm, which was really good for the family and good for the kids and everything, and we all enjoyed it. And as time went on, we realised that people were really enjoying the fact that we were producing lamb in such a way with low impact, quite hand reared. And over time, we decided we wanted to get into this further. So what we did is we built our numbers up steadily. We one year bought, I think, 50. I think they were pedigree ones. We made sure we had a good quality ram, which we got pedigree Clen bloodlines. And that all went well. So then last year, we thought, let's take it up a gear. We upped our numbers to low 200s, and we thought to ourselves, that's a really good number for the amount of grass and manageable for us as a family. So we then sought out what we thought would be the most important purchase of all of it, and that was the correct ram. Now, we have a ram on the farm, I call him Owain, and he is a Welsh champion. He won the best shearling in 2022 at the Royal Welsh Show. He's a wonderful looking lad, strong, quality, fit and healthy, and he's done brilliantly, and he's thrown out some gorgeous lambs this year. But that's all backstory. So what's happened and why is this important? Well, to be able to be a viable farm, I believe that we need to do everything combined. So some farms are small farms that just do small amounts and sell locally, more on the verge of a hobby. Or you get larger commercial farms that do it on a large scale and they just farm and they try to make the best profit possible with what they've got in the best way possible that they can do. But what's really interesting is the hardest thing to do is to do both. So what we do on the farm, we try to do both. We've also crossed some of the Clens with a Rouzan Tup, which is a French breed, which especially longer, and they have a lovely shape and lovely legs. And we wanted to create lambs of high quality, low input, sustainable, grass fed, with the option of the right shape for commercially viable lambs. That has been years in the planning, and this week in June, because it's July as I'm filming this, but we have sorted it out this week, we have just collected up and found our first crop of lambs for the year, which have taken us about 18 months necessarily to produce, from the planning of getting the extra livestock, the new ram, the grass plan, and obviously moving them stubble turnips in the winter, getting them in lamb and lambing them. Does that make sense? There's lots and lots of steps on the way. So we've got the first crop of lambs, and it's absolutely delightful to see that we've got them ready as early as that, because that's a big part of it. Having the right genetics is the most difficult part of the battle, because they need to be able to grow fast enough that they're kind of on the farm for as short a time as possible before they're sold, because most customers want them as young as possible for tenderness and they like that flavour. And also on the farm, you don't want them here for as long because it costs you more to produce them. So you need something that's financially viable as well as quality and as well as fast growing. And what we've done this year has ticked every single one of those boxes, and we've been able to do it in a way that we wanted to make sure it was the right kind of lamb. And that is really, really important to us. We on the farm want to spread that message throughout all of our livestock and everything that we're doing, because we have to be a farm first, and that's really important. So by being a farm first, we have to be commercially viable, and that sometimes does mean being a commercial type farm. This means it's not going to necessarily be some things like the cattle might not all entirely be grass fed, or later in the year we might have to feed any lambs or sheep we've got left over hard feed and things like this. But this is what the social media and the channel and the YouTube is for. This is for me to pass on the message to you, to tell you what we're doing and why we're doing it, because I think in farming the biggest issue we've got isn't in a lot of ways the commercial viability of farms, the future of farming and who's in it. It's the fact that we're all disconnected from it as a nation, and by connecting back with the public will fix all the problems that I've just said about viability and commercialism, etc. Once people understand that what we're doing is, yes, for profit, but also for the best nature, sort of loving methods that we can do, that's good to the soil, good to the animal, high welfare and good for the planet where possible. You know, I'm not going to start spouting on here that I don't run a diesel vehicle. I mean, I'm filming on this and this is diesel, so we're all part of this possible issue with the climate change. But what I really wanted to hit home is that farmers are here to create produce for the public in this country, to create something that's wonderfully done, unique and expertly made. And that's why I wanted to bring this video to you from the sheep field. But as you can see, it's been so dry, we've got some hay. I put hay out in the field. That's the thing, the grass gets so low when there's not been enough rain, and as you know, it's been boiling. I've put a nice hay ring out here. So this field on our farm is called Christmas Hill. We don't know why, but we think it might be because there's pine trees in the spinneys. Can you see over there? You might be able to see if I move. And it's one of my favourite fields on the farm. It's a really lovely field for the sheep. It's nice and airy with those little spinneys with the trees to hide in. So we've got these fields kind of saved for the sheep, but we've been rotating them the best we can to keep the sheep healthy, keep the ground healthy and stop the grass from being eaten too deep, because if the grass gets overeaten it stops growing. So I just wanted to share that with you about our sheep and why it's been such a wonderful process and why we've done it. So to sort of summarize, we have done the sheep in a way that you can buy it from our website, and you can buy it from the local butchers who are now buying our sheep, and everyone's kind of winning. We're able to sell to all the right people with the right quality lamb doing the right things for our farm. But what I will also include in this video too is this week we've had shearing, and I'll finish off with a little bit of a shearing montage for you, because that's one of the biggest days on the sheep calendar post lambing. And we had 220 sheared that day. We had to sort all the lambs out, and it was absolutely baking hot. So don't forget, if you've enjoyed this video and you're really interested in farming and you want to know more about anything to do with farming, please like, subscribe, share my content, because I am out here telling you exactly what we do, being 100% truthful, and I hope you enjoy it along the way. Don't forget, if you also enjoy this, I have my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok and my X. They're all like @Radmore Farm or @Radmore Farm Shop for Facebook. So there's all sorts of different kinds of funny, interesting, cute videos, as well as my standard YouTube from here. So all of that said, here comes the montage of shearing. Don't forget, final point, I always release my videos Wednesdays, 7 PM and Fridays. rustic real farming. Thank you very much.